Hello, Job Duo here. In today's little project, it's me versus the KALLAX. KALLAX. KALLAX? I don't know, I think there's a game used to be called that or something like that. Anyway, this is a product from IKEA. This is the big one. I don't know if there's a bigger one, but this is like a 5, I think, by 5. And so it's about 6 foot by 6 foot. With a depth of, I think, around 15, 16 inches. And here's its stock number. Right, this is for the brownish or black one. Yeah, it shows the dimensions right there. In fact, look at that. Also has them centimeters. So, I guess this is box number 2. I don't know. All I do know is this is a hefty unit. So not only can you get little pocket things to fill up these things here, just the unit by itself. I got some stats here. It's comes in 4 boxes, and 2 of the boxes are 25 pounds each, supposedly, so that's not too bad. 2 of them are 37 pounds, you know, they're kind of long, and, yeah, so not too bad, but once you get it assembled, the whole unit's about 124 pounds, so that's kind of heavy. Eli, if you're out there, can you curl 124 pounds? Can you bench press 124 pounds? Anyways, this unit, though, if you fill it all up, I think they said each shelf can hold about 29 pounds. And so that itself is 725 pounds. And if you add that 124, if my elementary school math is correct, that's 849 pounds this whole shelving thing could weigh. And, you know, this is going to be installed around earthquake country, so I'm not too sure. Even though they say it could be like a room divider, I'm not too sure if they still want you to mount to a wall. You know, like it has to come off a wall to be a room divider. Surely because this comes in a whole, you know, there's like 400 different models of this or something like that. But you can get them just so it's just like, you know, one row of cubicles, or you can get them across, you know, they go across the floor, like maybe 2 high and across the floor. I mean, I wouldn't worry about mounting that. But something this big will probably go up against a wall to mount. And because I can't imagine something 849 pounds just hanging out there getting ready to fall over. This might be going on a carpeted floor, so I'm not too sure it's going to be like a weebly wobbly. But a lot of questions with this project. But yeah, that's about it. So it's massive. But 124 pounds in kilograms is only 56 about. So that doesn't weigh as much, right? In kilograms. But we'll see if I can get this assembled today, and see if I have enough room to even work on this. But the other thing is that there might be some little special. There might be some little accessories that have been purchased for these little cubby holes. So we shall see. The first thing, though, I'll need a little help from Mr. Knife to get some of these cut open. Very carefully, though. I don't want to cut the finish. And, yeah, in a true Odd Job Doer fashion, I'm going to unbox all 4 boxes, spread the parts out, and hopefully not forget where I put them all. And then we'll get to the assembly. Behold, mise en place, right? Everything laid out in its place. So we got a whole bunch of these wooden dowels that seem pretty structurally strong. There's little metal clips there that I use to mount this thing all up. This metal channel, that is actually used to mount it if you want to try and mount it as a room divider. So yes, it does want it to be mounted up against a wall, at least on one side, better than none. The little screws here, Phillips, and they go with those back there, those black thing, those are the clips, racks, something. I don't know, they're used to mount it. Basically, they're this part here, alright? You know, hook this thing into the side of your complete unit, and then this right here is the part where you put a hole in the wall and you mount it with this part here also, which is those again. The black screws here, those are, you got 8 of them. That actually holds the whole thing together. You got that little thing there. I might also show in here the manual. They want you to have both slotted and Phillips. Phillips mainly for those 2 screws down there are slotted just in case if you use that type of screw. a little hammer, a pencil, and a level. And so I got me here a screwdriver, and I got me, you know, a hammer. Ding, 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 ding. Don't have to be anything huge. That's just kind of tap the dials in. And since I'm a little bit of a professional on this stuff here, I got me this here, a little hex head wrench. Well, not real hex head driver. And this one here, in case you're wondering, because you also got this key here, right? But this is not an eighth of an inch, but it's 5/32. 5/32 is what this hole is down here, and this wrench here, of course, goes in, you know, both ways, right? But these guys all, you know, a little hard in your hands. But that's what this magical thing here is for. I thought it was a harmonica or something. There's a little notch here, and so you assemble this like so. Like that, see? And you got a little bit more of a grip to it. Then you have this strap here, which literally, in the manual, the strap looks like it's only for, it's like page, I thought it was page 1. Page 1. Alright, you got this person here fixating it. This is after you get one side and the top put together. You put a strap around it, and then you have something to lift. Now, on the internet, it says you should have 2 people. In the manual, it shows 3, right? It shows not me by myself. It shows 3 other people that look pretty close to the same. I don't have any triplets. I'm just a single person, so this will be me during this project. And this guy has a magic carpet he's assembling it on. Don't do it on the hard floor because you'll break it, I guess, and shatter it. And once again, they said if you have a question mark in your head, you can call IKEA or watch my video, right? But continuing on, we got these over here. These are pads. There's 12 pads that will go on the bottom of this unit. And that seems to be it for that. Now, you also have 22, I think, of these. Pretty shiny, yeah? That's what happens when you get new stuff. And these just have holes on the side there for the dowels to go in, you know, both sides. And that's it for those. So 22 of those. And the weird thing about this project so far is nothing's labeled. Nothing has stickers on it. You know, I guess I'll save from pulling off all the stickers, but you know, it's hard to know which part goes to which part in some cases. Now for the other parts. Okay, the other parts are these. You got these bigger, thicker ones. These come in the 25-pound boxes, I'm pretty sure. So you got 2 of these big ones. One of them has this brown side, and the other side's black or white, whatever color scheme you have going on. I have it turned around here because that's going to be the bottom of the unit. That one. And all it has is 4 holes. 2 down here, and then 2 at the top. Boop, boop. And those are for those big screws to go through to hold it together into the sides. These over here have sides. It's hard to see, but if I zoom in on it, you can see right here, ever so slightly, giant finger. You got 2 little holes there, and that is for the wooden dowels to go in to hold the shelving units. Now, when I say shelving units, that's a whole nother side. Well, it's not side. You get 4 of these. Okay. Now, these here pretty much have holes like this right here, right? And that's, whoa. That's for where your dowels are going to go through to go into the shells. And on the ends up and down, like the edges, they'll have places for more dowels, and they go into the sides. You'll see here in a little bit. And that's the parts, and then nothing is labeled. So, I don't blame you for watching this. Let me lay some stuff out. Okay, so I want to point this out real quick. This here is a side. This here's a top. Yeah, definitely top, because the other side of this is the same color as the front side. So this is the top, this is the side. Now, on this side, it's going to look about the same, but mirrored are these two holes up here. These two holes up here are for your mounting brackets, your ones to mount to a wall. So when I lay this down, these are going to be towards the floor. Now, the other thing is that on this one here, at the very top here, you can see the hole. Well, the other side of this, it actually has a flare. So it's a little bit bigger looking hole. And the flare part will also be away from you, or on the top of the unit. That's where the screw will come through. And you want to have, not this part, but the flared part, right? Alright, so this here's the bottom board. And you can see there, that's the flared. Right, looks a little bit better on this one here because of the contrast. And so that part right now for the top is facing away. And this one here will face towards the bottom. So I got it laid out, top here, side, and I've got the screw kind of going through there. And make sure it's kind of squared. You don't have to get a 90 degree or nothing, just kind of eye it good. And then I can go ahead and finish sinking this here down. And the other one already did. And as a pro tool tip here, get down there. It's almost done. But as a pro tool tip, when you're doing like the bottom one, towards sit on the carpet, I kind of lift it up a little bit. Because there's been a few times where you're mounting something on the carpet, and when it gets that pinch, it pinches the carpet. And then you try to lift the whole thing up and you're ripping the carpet out of the floor. Alright, so got that part there. Next part here is a little bit darker, but there's holes. Oops. I think that might have been one. Yeah, there's one. So as you can see, there's a hole right about there, maybe. And so what goes in there is you get your little hammer ready here, and two of these dowels, and one of these, what I think, 20-inch shells or something. Right, and so, okay, I'm taking a test on this one here that, you got this right here, and the one up here, and you kind of tap them in, because these are tight. Right, and then put it in here. And yes, I chose the right hole after all. Okay, now this, you might want to get a nice mallet. You don't want to do the hammer time on it. Alright, that is tight. Be careful that you don't try to tighten it and slip out your hand and you snap them off, right? Yeah, there you go. Now, you got 5 more of this to do down this row of the top. Okay, so you take one of the shells here, and on the ends of them, let's see it here, there's actually a place here to put 2 dowels, right? And so you do it. You get them, you tap them all in. And I make sure that they're all the way down, in the material, not super hard, you're not driving a nail in per se. But it takes 2 of them here to make this magic happen. Then you'll take it and line them up with the holes in your side piece here. Okay. And this is when you just put them in there. Right, a little slight movements like that will help it go in. Maybe a mallet on the side will help it go in a little one. But that's that part. More or less. Get a little bit more. There, that's feeling better. Then we have this part down here. Now, I noticed something about these shelves and the so you have the shelves the long part, you know, right across there, and you have the separators here, which you have like 500 of those just about. On those separators, there's 2 holes, right? It looks like for the majority of this project, I think all of them, we're using the farther hole on each end. Okay, a little blurry there. But now that we've got this part here lined up in theory, this gets a dowel that'll go through here and into the shelf on the other side. So you want to just kind of tap it a little light. There we go, get lined up. Same thing, you don't really hammer it in too much, but you definitely want it in that other shelf. And yes, when I'm hammering in this dowel into the shelf here, through to the separator, I am grabbing and lifting that shelf just a little bit. It's probably about maybe a 1/16 and 1/8 inch from the frame itself. Right, so we got the top one there, and there's a bottom one down there in the darkness somewhere. So I'm going to go ahead and tap in some more. What, I got a 8 of there. I said 5 separators before, but I meant 4. Yeah, math. Okay, so I'll pound away here. Okay, so I got 3 of these risers shoved in there. And I just got one more here to go. Zoom up here on the action. You can see the dowels there hanging out. Ever so blurry. Alright, shelf, right? Very simple. Just get in here, line up the holes, make sure it's the outermost ones. And just, there. Rock them in there. Give a little tap. Now then, next on this is another shelf, right? So same as the last one. I already got the 4 nailed into the side there. So I just kind of lay it on down here, line up these holes with the pegs, and oops. Yeah, tap on in there. Here we go. Once I get them lined up, I'm kind of lifting the back end and pushing in ever so slightly with a rocking motion. And instead of it seating down good, it's kind of pushing out the top one. See right there? A little bit of coming out. That's okay, because I can just probably just bang them all together not bang them. You know, I'll get in there and muscle them in here. Okay, so what I ended up doing was just kind of stepped in there, and I just kind of slapped my hand against the far side here in the middle as I held on to these, well, this shelf here, and that set them all back to normal. Now, guess what? You've seen this before. More dowels in the bottom here, and then you repeat. So I'll do this assembly 1, 2 more times, and I'm pretty sure the bottom's going to be the same with the dowels and the separators going in there, and then we got the very bottom shelf. So I'll continue back to filming on the bottom shelf. Right, behold, a bunch of cubicles. So over here, next step here is you got this side. It's supposed to go here, and I haven't done yet, but you're supposed to do double the dowels down here on each end. So 4 per shelf. Okay, haven't done it yet. Over here, we've got the bottom part. So another 1 dowel, top, bottom here, holes. And they said do the side first, then do the bottom. I'm going to do it a little different. I'm going to put the bottom on. And so that's basically going to be, you know, 2 screws at the far end and, you know, 3 of these dowels. And then we're going to set it up. Alright, so here's a quick little update, a public service announcement. So, in theory, lifting this thing up before it's fully assembled and locked down is probably not the best idea. Because now I have to go off to the hardware store and find some new dowels. Could have been worse. But off to the hardware store. Ah, the hardware store. What a fun trip that was. So my first thing was, you know, trying to find some wooden dowels to replace them, like this right here. 1/4 inch by 2 inches, I think that's what this is. And guess what? I found 1/4 inch ones, but not as long as these. And they didn't really have a whole lot of selection besides that. So I thought, what else could I use? So I looked around. And I found this beauty here. Dun 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 dun. This here's some all thread, right? And 1/4 inch. And I thought, you know what? This is gonna be stronger than that wood. It won't be the weak spot anymore. The shells in the other parts will be the weak spot because it's metal. And around the same area, they had cold rolled steel, I think. So I could have gotten that 1/4 inch, but I don't know. Something said stay away from that. Maybe it'd be harder to cut. Maybe this is better because it has the threadings on it. So I bought this here. Actually, even before that, sidetrack, they had wooden dowels there. You know, it's like this, long one, but made with wood. But the problem was, on the sticker, the sticker up here, it said wooden dowels hardwood. But when we pulled out from where they're at, that said wooden dowel pine. And unless I'm wrong here, pine's not very hard. So, went with me all thread there. And did a little cheap measuring here. Close enough. And after I cut this off with a hacksaw, if you have a vise, this comes in really handy. Or some pliers to kind of hold this, because you know, rolled things tend to roll when you're sawing it. But got the vise out, clamped onto it, did a little bit of a choppy, and if I remember correctly, it's these outer holes, right? So that one there fits in pretty good. It's probably a broken one, or slightly broken. Here we go. Oh, and then I took a file, and I kind of got the burrs off, and I kind of tapered the ends just a little bit, ever so slightly. So hopefully this will work. You put that in there, give it some pounding, and I think that's it, right? So I'm going to saw a whole bunch more of these because I need like 12 of them, and you know, get the burrs off and all that kind of stuff, and get back to work on this project. Okay, so a little pro tip here. If you happen to have the same problem that I had, and bust up all your wooden dowels and made these new ones with threads on them, right? You know, just test fit them to make sure that they go in and out of these parts pretty good, because what you're mounting to is on the spots down yonder, right? You got some hanging out there on all the ones. Giant finger, where are you? Boop, right there. And so now the bottom's going to have to go slap against there, sides will have to go on this other part, and basically you want to make sure that these here go in without much force at all. So I had to kind of twist them, like screw them a little bit, and then kind of pull them out and do that till I got through, or kind of tapped them in. So I didn't force them in, but yeah, get them in there. So it's still going to be tight when you put this thing together, but it's not going to be too tight to where you're really trying to hammer on this side. Speaking of side, let me get to it. Okay, now comes the fun part. So this is the side here. You can see I'm kind of lining up the pegs down here, the holes in the side of the side, and I got these here, these screws, right, the hex heads again. And so this might be a little bit of a pain, but basically you line up the sides with the pegs, and you kind of tap in, slide in, and then you sink this here, tube them down from the top. And so I don't know, I guess I'm gonna try it. Maybe I'll just I won't bore you with this, but I'll see how this goes. Okay, so a slight warning here. We've got the side on right down here, but to kind of help get that on, and I don't know if I mentioned this before, but this the sides, top, bottom, all that sits about, I think, 1/8 of an inch, maybe 1/16 of an inch, something a little bit wider than what the inner shelves are. So when you have the inner shelves sitting down on the carpet, if you have carpet, you know, if you have hard floor, hopefully you put it on cardboard, but it'd probably be a lot easier to reassemble this or assemble it, because the carpet just kind of sinks. So I tried to line up the holes at the other end first, and then came back to the bottom here. They're way off, so I end up very carefully, so much, reach underneath this shelf here and lifting a little bit and line up the holes to tap in the sidewall too. And then I actually had to kind of go down the row and do that to the other three shelves. So tapped them in and slapped them around and basically got together. I sunk the screws into the top there, and now we'll work on putting this bottom one. I feel it's going to be the same thing. I have to, you know, line up these pegs, give a little tap in there, and then we'll sink in some screws through the bottom here and the other side too. Alright, so once again here, put the bolt, screw, stick it in there. And it doesn't really go through. Look at that, the clearance on that's pretty tight, so screwing this in here, it's going to bore out that a little bit. And then we're going to match it up to the other side here. It's starting to come through. And push that in. There, I think I got it going. Yep. It's going to start to seal up that gap. And when I get down like that, I have this little tool again. A little bit extra torque on this. Make sure it's in there. Give it a good twist. Let me start the bottom one here. Okay, I'll continue tightening up the bottom one, and you can see fairly so that you know, some of these shelves here are seating down. They're not quite down all the way yet, so once I start getting the bottom one screwed in here, I will one down here, I'll give this whole thing a tap like that, only down the row, and cinch it up. Okay, so pound it up and down the side. Like hammer fist a little bit, slapping around. And everything should be fine now. Just gotta sink this last one in. Snug it down without breaking it. Okay, and I already snugged down the rest of the four corners too. So, what we got? 8 of these long screws. And a whole lot of dowels. It is complete, except for the feet padding. Now, so I think an optional part here is they make a bottom to this with the legs. So I don't have that. We don't have this on this project. So I'll continue on with the feet next, or the padding. Now that's all put together, you have the bottom here. And you notice the bottom, because this is the only part that's not the same color as the rest of it. There's little felt discs here. You just kind of peel them off this paper and stick them like so. So you got 12 of them to kind of space out. And I kind of put them underneath the, like the support things, you know. Not the support thing, the shells and the columns. Alright, so there's that. And now we just got to do one other simple thing, and that's, well, actually a couple things here. The first thing we're going to do is, there's me, and then there's this picture here, you see. You got 3 people, right? But then what happened here? Only 2? Well, hopefully, one of me can set this thing up. Stand up upright. Okay, so if you were to, we got it up here, and if we were to have the end here put on a wall and have this stick it onto a room somewhere, you'd want to use this bracket that came with, and you'd use 2 screws that go through here, and they want you to use the pan head, I think, style screws, and then these holes right here is one on each end. This thing on the very top where you sunk down those big long screws, you'd actually probably need a lot of measurement on this, because basically you'll mount this here first, and then you scoot the unit over. Actually, you take out the screws up here, these 2 big long ones, put this on it, and it's going to sit off about maybe a 1/4 inch, like so. And then you put those screws back down, and that's what's going to hold this against the wall sitting out that way. So that's one way to have this unit mounted. Okay, the second way here is to have 2 of these brackets here. So you got these 2 holes here, you got this big hole here, and then the other side you have that kind of there's like a little ribbed surface in here, and basically two trains of thoughts here. One is that you mount it here, and the first set of holes right there, this one right there, will put it pretty much flush with the back of the unit here. The next set of hole out here, you know, kicks out, what, about a 1/2 inch or so? A 1/4 inch maybe. And so what that is about is, if you have floorboards, you know, down yonder, where the floor is at, you got your floorboards there that stick out. Unless you're going to remove them and try to really get this flush mount to the wall, or if you don't have floorboards, you don't have to worry about it. But there's floorboards where this is going to go. So this is where these little screws like this come in, right? And we'll just take this screwdriver here and see if we can snug this thing into its spot. Right, like so. This goes in here, and this goes up in this top hole. Just about like that. only not quite like that. Helps if you get it driving good, if it gets a good bite to it. Okay. Now, hopefully, where this is set up, I'll do the other screw up here soon, but hopefully where this is going to be set up, it has a stud right behind here maybe. And so you could drive a screw that does not come with it through there. But here's the other part. This part here, this goes on this side. So we're looking at this from the back side. And so basically you have a screw. And in fact, this one here, if the head is smaller than this bottom hole, but you know, this part can go through, you put the head through and boop, and set it on there, tighten it up. It has some adjustments. This has a little sharp spot, which goes in those different grooves to move up and down here. And yeah, hopefully at least one goes into a stud. The other one, maybe you have to have a other kind of a toggle bolt or some other kind of a something to hold it in there. If you have dual studs, that's the best idea. And that is almost it. You have this piece here. Hard to see, but it's this dark plasticky piece, right? And after you get this all in here and mount to the wall, this here will clip on the inside, so it makes a nice finished product. And that's how a lot of their cupboards have it, is that they cover up those mounting holes. And I think that's about it, but maybe there's something less. Let me sink that screw in and look around real quick. Oh look, friends. So, we have over here, looks like, this looks like an official product. It says KALLAX. This is a, what do we got, product number 602.781.70. And from what it looks like a little box with a door on it. That picture. Then over here, we have this one here. It's hard to see because it's all dark now. We don't have any lighting that's that good. No, not you. You. This big one here. This is a Dorona? I don't know. Looks like some kind of a could be a whole box maybe, but article number 103.003.19. And last but not least, we have this one here. This one here looks like a generic Dorona. So what this thing does, I believe, is kind of accordions up like this, right? And there's a part here, kind of a cardboardy part, has a little bit of a firmness to it, but that goes on the bottom of it. And look, you got this little box thing here, and you can go right in the shelf, kind of like that. You see it? I don't see it. It's dark. Here, let me show you. Where's my thing? All right, well, it's there. But basically, if you could see it, it doesn't really fit. It's a little small for the cubby hole. So basically, this KALLAX shelf that we just built here, it could be used as, you know, a huge bookshelf. It has some other things to it. So let me see this Dorona thing. We'll put that one together. Right there. Okay, so I undid it, and the wrapping Right, see this paper here. On one side, other side has the instructions. It shows the guy there calling the store, has a zipper thing, and you do that, and you throw something away, it looks like. So, you have this thing here, and the first thing is you can open it up like so. And look, there's a, on this side here, there's actually a little zipper head. And if you grab it from maybe on the inside, deep down here, somehow, ow. Okay, so there's not a thing on it. Alright, so this side here, you just zip it. Like that. Okay, so that's zipped. Now it's still weird, but inside there's once again one of these things that don't come out. There's a flap in here. You fold that down, and you got yourself a little tote box, right? And on this side there's this side is a thing to grab onto. Same with the other one. And I bet you it's going to fit real good into those cubicle holes. So that's that. Pretty simple. Don't know what people would throw in there, but whatever. And next we have the this unit here. So let me unwrap that and spread it out a little bit. Okay, so this is kind of interesting. You got this door. Probably depending on whatever kit you get. It's going to match the color of your main unit, unless you want to swap up things and get crazy. Door, wood. Outside has just one hole, and that's where this knob will be mounted. Alright, and so that's pretty straightforward. On the back side here, you'll put through this bolt, like so. And then this side here, you just tighten this thing down. Right? Not so bad. Now, back here, you got hinges. So right there you have hinge. Sits in like this. And the screws that this here is going to handle, there's a few different ones. There's these here. Has like a blunt into it. And then you have the other screw type. So sharp. Turn around. Right? Then there's a sharp end to it. So, blunt end type will go not in the middle, but into this, hole. And screw it down here. Let me lock on down some. Before I get that one too tight, I will start the other one right here. And snug. Don't over tighten it, because this still has some pressed particle wood type of stuff here that, if you're super strength, you'll just strip it out. So snug it up. Okay, so, pretty cool, huh? Now let me do the other one here, and we'll get back to it. Alright, something like that. You got the hinges on there. Fold in. Alright, this is going back on the outside. Pretty nice, huh? Now, the other thing about this maybe is this semi-flimsy housing thing. Once again, this part here is brown. Will go towards the wall of your unit, inside. And you have this darker part inside here, see? And then black part here, that'll go towards the back of the unit, so, it's fully encased. It's not very thick, per se. But yeah. Basically, this is something, I wouldn't say math, but there's another part that does with this. There's a measuring tool. It's this right here. Sure, it looks like a piece of cheap plastic, but you put this over your shelf unit, and then you put a line here on the shelf, and then that's going to be basically how far this thing here goes in. I don't think I'll show it because I'm not too sure where it's going to go in right now, and I think the unit probably should be mounted to the wall first. But there's a caveat here that if you were to have this thing, where you wanted the doors at the top corners here. I'll show it in the manual here. Yeah. So if you want them in the top cubby holes here and here, where the mountain stove stuff is, they want you to take that plastic piece out. Just say like that. I personally don't think I'd want it in there. No. All it takes is a screwdriver and a pencil, it says. And here, it shows you how to origami it. And so you make it like this, and you make sure this is folded back. Okay. We already did the doors. And the other part here would be, okay, here's where it shows you to measure with your little plastic piece here, and you draw a line behind it. And don't do it the weird way that they're showing here, just do it that way. And then your unit thing goes slide into there, and it looks like you don't have to have any pre-holes drilled because those are sharp. But yeah, it looks like you just screw right through this side into these holes here. This inner insert has holes in it, and you screw it through here with your bracket. Make sure the arrow's pointing the right way. And it's shown down here. Make sure it's at the line and not over the line. Okay, that's important. And top, bottom, same thing. Now this is weird. You see that? That's like a ghost hand coming through the thing. So I believe that's saying that you hold this part here, maybe with your thumb, and then you sink in 2 screws to hold it on that side. Same thing. Don't go up the line. And then we put that thing on there. Look, they got a few things, 4 holes. And then, of course, at the very end, you put the little rubber bumpers on here, so it doesn't bang shut. And then that's it. So same, you can do it left-handed, right-handed. There's instructions for both sides. And I need to figure out how to do that. Well, not how to do it, but where they want them on this thing. So questions, comments on this? Leave them down below. And thanks for watching. Yeah, I'm not too sure if I have any more IKEA things coming up, but Odd Job Doer out.